You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Welcome to the Linda Hamill Insurance Coaches Corner. Now let's join Monty Walker with Howe Bulldogs head coach Lance Bryan.
All right, Coach, big time win last week over the Leonard Tigers. Dominated really in all aspects of the game, and you were fired up after that win.
Definitely. They were picked to beat us in every poll, and we felt like we've proved that we're a good team over these last several weeks, and I still feel like to some degree we're still getting pinned as an underdog or we're overachieving or something like that. And we've talked a lot about a team that we don't think we're an underdog or overachieving. We think we're doing exactly what we could do. And in that game, last Friday night, obviously that was a huge one for both of us. Playoffs on the line, and they're a good team, and they went 3 rounds deep last year, so it was a big test for us. And we knew that if we went out and played really well, we had a chance to get up on them early and often. And their defense was a really strong unit, and we knew that going in. And they have a lot of really talented guys playing defense, and so we challenged our defense to be the better unit. And so we really got in their heads all week about how they needed to perform and how the offense is going to be able to do their thing. But when you're facing a strong defense, you just never know if they're going to be able to stifle the offense or not. And so we needed our defense to step up and make a lot of big plays, and those guys did just that. And so I was really proud of our kids and how they performed, and they rose to the challenge. And they've rose to a lot this year, but that was obviously a little bit more on the line when it comes to being a district game.
Well, you talked a little bit about the defense there. Allowed only 27 yards rushing last week. First time that's happened since 2017. Didn't allow a touchdown. That's the first time that's happened since the same game in 2017. I would imagine there's a lot of confidence on that side of the ball.
There is. We feel like as the season has progressed, we think that we've fixed some flaws that we have, and we always talk about how we don't think we're perfect ever. And so we had some tweaks and some things that we did a little bit differently that week, and an extra week of preparation obviously helps. And coming up as a defensive guy, and Coach Harvey and I working together the last couple years, we really are able to bounce ideas off each other, and Coach Graham and Coach Moss are great additions to that kind of brain trust that we have on defense. And so the four of us together really were able to kind of zone in on a game plan and what we felt we really needed to try to take away from them. But drawing stuff on a board and is great, and there's a lot of smart coaches when it comes to talking, but you got to get kids to be able to do it, and it's credit to the kids. They really came out and they established a line of scrimmage, and whenever you're physically dominant up front against an offensive line that was really big and had some good size, our kids really came to play, and we're really proud of them.
Offensively, kind of the same game plan, it seemed. A lot of heavy dose of Antoine Rattler on the ground, and then Haley picks apart the defense with an array of receivers. Talk about the offense.
We definitely try to be balanced, and I've said it multiple times. We're going to run it, we're going to throw it. We're going to do both. And I think last week was the first time we've actually thrown for more yards, or maybe only the second time of the season we've thrown for more yards than we've run it. And so, we're going to be balanced, but balance just means that we're going to try to do both, and we're going to take what the defense gives us. And we knew that they were good on defense, and so we couldn't just lock in on doing just one thing over and over again. We knew they were going to have a plan to take that away. And so, being able to spread the ball around, kind of keeps the other team on their toes and not able to just, completely try to take away one guy or one aspect of our game. And so, Haley's a great operator in doing that. I wouldn't call him a game manager because he's more electric than that, but he's definitely a guy that understands the offense and knows how to spread the ball around. And, Coach Cater and the offensive staff had a really good plan going in. And again, 2 weeks, to prepare for somebody definitely helps. And so, it was good to see us be able to spread the ball around and, move the ball down the field in multiple ways.
So beginning of the season, you had Luciano Vasquez, and you had Seth Goolsby penciled in as your tackles. They have injuries, and then Roman Garbrandt steps up as a sophomore, and he's playing tackle, and he's out of the country, and now Jesus Garcia gets his first start. Talk about Jesus and him being able to step up.
Unfortunately, injuries are just part of the game, and they're going to happen, unfortunately. And and that's one person's misfortune is another person's opportunity. And so we not that we make light of a guy getting hurt, but we do have to get another guy ready to go, and that guy has to be ready. And Roman was ready when his number was called, and Jesus is one of those guys that's been a guy that has gone all around the offensive line. He's learned every position. He's paid his dues. He's worked really, really hard. And when the moment came up, we felt as coaches we were like, we're going to be fine. Like Jesus is ready to roll. Like he knows everything that we're doing, and he works really hard. And so whenever we got into the week, as coaches, normally you would say your left tackle's out. Like and it's panic mode, but we weren't in panic at all. We had all the confidence in the world in Jesus, and he actually went out and he graded out as one of our top offensive linemen last week. He had 0 bust, and he made a lot of great blocks, and he did a lot of good stuff. But it's really just a credit to him being ready when his number was called.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundled discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive insurance protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
All right, Coach, fall break. Good thing or bad thing?
There's some good parts about it. With the kids, we don't have to worry about school, and we get to practice earlier in the morning when it's a little bit cooler and do some things like that. There's definitely, some challenges that come with that, with not being in school, whenever you're trying to, get players together in practices and trips and whatnot. And so there is a challenge, but, we try to make the most of it. We always try to say everything's to our advantage, no matter what it is. And so I think we made the most of it. We were able to, focus a little bit more on film and do some more stuff with our guys and get them out a little earlier and try to keep them a little bit more fresh. And it almost felt like a bye week in a weird way. And obviously it's not a bye week, playing the number 1 team in the state. It's no bye week. But, it was nice to have, those guys come in early and be able to get out, early and coaches kind of recharge a little bit. It's kind of a unique deal. I haven't experienced a fall break very many times.
Very diplomatic. All right, the Gunner Tigers, number 1 ranked team in the state. They haven't lost a district game since going back to 2015 when they lost it here at Bulldog Stadium. A lot of things have happened since that 2015 night. They've gone on to state championship games are the real deal. Matt Stepp has now picked them by 35 to beat Howe. How do you stop them?
The biggest thing is that they're a great team. There's no hiding that. They've been ranked number 1, and they're ranked number 1 for a reason. They're really, really good. One of the things that we've talked to our kids a lot about is we can't make them even bigger than they are. They're the Gunner Tigers. They're not the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Like they're a high school team just like we are, and so we can't make them out to be the boogeyman or anything like that. And so we've definitely got to step up our game and come to play. And they're going to have a great plan, and they do a great job. Fizel's done a great job there for a long time. Their biggest thing is they want to establish a run, and it's not that they won't throw the ball and do that effectively. They will, but they kind of have an old school mentality. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. They're going to try to run it, down your throat. They do kind of a combination of some flex bone stuff, some wing tee principles, and then they jump into spread every once in a while. So they kind of have like a multifaceted offensive approach, but it all boils down to they're going to try to establish a running game, and so we definitely have to do a good job trying to limit that.
Well, now that they have Bells out of the way, I would imagine that they're going to look at this game as perhaps the district championship. I know Blue Ridge is going to have something to say about that also down the road, perhaps. I think you're going to get everything out of the cooler that they had. Do you expect to see that?
I would say this. We've been picked to get last. We've been picked to be underdogs in almost every single game. So this feels like where we always are. So I'm going to assume everybody's just going to keep thinking that, and hopefully we can just keep proving people wrong. But I definitely know that those guys don't take anybody lightly, and so I know they're not going to take us lightly. And so they're going to have a game plan ready to stop what we do and try to get after us, and we're going to have the same. And so I'm looking forward to a good game, and hopefully we can that's a big spread, and that's kind of a slap in our face. We feel like we've done some good stuff, but when you're facing the number 1 team, they're going to get the respect that they've earned too. And so if we want to get more respect, we're going to have to play well against a team like them.
So another huge crowd expected. Your kids have played really well, and this will be an overcrowded game Friday night. How do you think they respond to that kind of atmosphere?
They're a great team, and obviously their fans are going to come out and support their kids, and we feel like we've got a great team too, and so our fans have traveled really well, and they've been really supportive of us, and our kids really feed off that. Our student section goes crazy every game, and that's a lot of those guys, like we do off season together, and so a lot of our football guys have lifted and sweated with those guys, and so there's a lot of camaraderie amongst the student section and the football team, and so I know those guys are going to be loud and crazy. We've tried to build up every game as a big game, just because when you haven't won games in a couple of years, every chance at a victory is a big game, and we just take that same approach, no matter who we're playing. Obviously we're playing number 1, but you know, it's a big game. It was a big game last week. It was a big game the week before. And so we try to build it up that way every week. So we're not trying to get up and down and, you know, kind of have a roller coaster of emotion. We just build every game up as a big one. And obviously this is a big one this week.
Today's Coach's Corner has been brought to you by Linda Hamill Insurance. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.